This is an interview on the 24th of April 2007, and I'm with Eric George William Hodgetts, V64555, a private who served with 39th Battalion, B Company, 12th Platoon. Welcome, Eric. And can I just ask you, Eric, how come you joined the Army?
Well, I joined the Army in Wentworth in New South Wales, and then we went down here on the morning from Dinshire to Balcombe.
Yep.
And we was there, and we was digging holes out the back of Dandenong, and they come along wanting blokes to go to New Guinea to fight the Jap, and my mate and I was one of about a dozen or so that fell out, and in no time at all we was into Royal Park, and we was kitted out and was on our way to New Guinea.
Where did you do your initial training in the Army?
Oh, just out of Seymour.
Out of Seymour? Trail? Is that the place? Trail?
No, it was out Ngambia, out around Ngambia.
Around Ngambia.
I think it actually was on Ngambia Road, if I remember correctly. It's a long time ago, but it was around that area.
Did you said you came from Wentworth area. Did you have brothers and sisters who served in the war too?
I had a brother.
A brother?
Yeah, he was in the Air Force.
In the Air Force?
Yeah.
Did he, an older brother or a younger brother?
He was a younger brother. There was only two, and I was the oldest and he was the second youngest.
Right. And after you volunteered to join the 39th, you didn't do any retraining or any additional training for service in tropical or jungle warfare?
Oh, well, yes and yes to that, really, I suppose, because when we went from there, we were intended to go straight from, when we got to Sydney, to go straight on a boat and go straight to New Guinea. But while we were somewhere between Albury and Sydney, the word came through the train that that Pearl Harbor had fallen. Right. And when we got to Sydney, we was held up there for, well, I don't know, some period of time, at any rate. And then we was put on a train and we went up to Toowoomba, and we did about 6 weeks of training there. We did do jungle warfare. We was training in Lantana.
Right.
Don't recommend it.
No.
Then we went to Ceylon, just out of what's the name of the place there? Charters Towers, and we did training there, and from there we went over to New Guinea, and we was round and about all different parts of the outskirts of Moresby and so on. And then we joined up originally with the battalion at Kokoda, if I remember rightly.
But how did you actually get from Charters Towers to Port Moresby?
Oh, well, we came down by train to
Brisbane?
No, way above that. Where they go now?
Townsville.
Townsville. And when we left Townsville, and from there we went across to New Guinea.
Yeah, I've heard you tell me though that you went on you didn't go on the Aquitania or any of those.
Oh no, we were held up, and it was said that they couldn't, or it wasn't. They weren't prepared or whatever it was. I don't know, but anyway, they were held up because of the difficulty of getting troops from the mainland across to New Guinea. And from there, when we got there, we were in various parts of Moresby. We were up in the 12 Mile River and around Kokoda and places like that. And then we joined the 39th unit.
Yeah. You joined them on the Port Moresby side of the track. Did you actually walk the track?
No, never. No. Never on the track.
You went by plane across?
We went by train across from Moresby to Popondetta, and from Popondetta we went down the tracks to Gona, and we were there from the time they first went in there until the finish.
Yeah. Did you you went as a reinforcement?
Yes,
You actually joined B Company at Koitaki, and you went across as a reinforcement company, or did you? And then, or did?
No, we joined the general, and we were put into B Company.
Right.
Oh well, some of them went in C Company and D Company headquarters and so on. But in my case, it was B Company,
Yep.
and we had fellows from the ones that was on the track in our unit.
Right. From Townsville, you went to Port Moresby, but how did you actually make that trip?
Oh well, on the Dutch ship.
A Dutch ship?
Yeah.
And who was crewing it?
No, there was Japanese, so they told us they were Asians anyway. But we were told that they were Japanese.
Yeah. And did they look after you well on the ship?
Well, you weren't on the ship very long, going from the mainland over to the system, about 2 days or 3 days, whatever it was. We had a bit of a stood to for a few hours one day because they heard or thought they heard some subs around the area, and we hove to for a while before we went on.
At night, how did you go sleeping on the ship?
Oh well, they sleep in the hammocks down below.
Down below?
Because you see, you've got to remember that they couldn't have any lights showing or anything like that during the night hours.
Yeah.
So everything was battened down.
So it probably been pretty stinking hot down there in that.
Not the best place to have a sleep. It was down the whole of troop ship, I can tell you.
Yeah. Yeah. But you managed to get out on deck, didn't you?
Yeah, we got out all that.
But you got permission to go up on the
on the bow.
On the bow, but threatened not to strike a light or have a cigarette. Yeah. Were you a smoker in those days?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I was a pipe smoker, and we made in fact, I think 99% of the blokes seemed to smoke in those days. It was one good way of steadying your nerves down for an hour or so.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Always beats me how you blokes got to light your cigarettes.
You get in your foxhole, and you pull your ground sheet over the top of your ground sheet over, pull over that over your top of your ignite.
Yeah.
And you get under.
But everything must have been wet. Matches, cigarettes.
Yeah, well, yes, we had wax festus matches, but in my case, being a smoke mate, a pipe smoker, my mates, being cigarette smokers, we used to make a horrible mess of my pipe, and it was bubble, bubble, bubble.
So you used to fill your pipe up with cigarettes?
Fill my pipes up with spit. That's what was filling my pipe. And I used to say, for God's sake, don't spit down the thing. You just draw on it. You don't spit in the thing. It never seems to register because so used to smoking cigarettes. But if I could manage it, I always preferred my pipe.
You mentioned to me, Eric, that you got a little bit of training in the tropics in North Queensland. When you went to the jungle warfare in New Guinea, what did you actually wear? What sort of uniform did you wear?
Oh, it was just the ordinary old shorts battle dress.
Khaki shorts and shirt? Slouch hat?
When we was at that was funny, when we was at Moresby, when we was at Beakless Bay actually, there's somebody, I don't know who issued the orders, but they gave us khaki shirts and shorts, and we put them in, cut in half 40-gallon drums and packed. I can't tell you how many packets we put in it, and boiled them up in there, and then went through it, and that was our jungle greens.
Oh.
And when it rained on it,
the colour used to run.
It used to run.
Did you tell me that one occasion you got issued some new uniforms down at Bootless Bay for an inspection?
Yeah, yeah.
Who was that?
Oh, that was for inspection by Blamey. That was at
Blamey.
Beatless Bay.
So they
I'll tell you a funny little thing that did happen at Beatless Bay. When we was at Beatless Bay, there was much talk at the time about fresh meat coming from the mainland. And so that could have been right, but we were still getting bully beef and such like. And at any rate, there was a little mob of Brumbies used to run around Wolseley, and that was headed by, or so the story goes, I don't know whether this is exactly true, but I've been told by a bloke that was up there on the pack horses, but it was true, that the wife of the plantation owner at Koitaki imported this Arab stallion from somewhere over in the Middle East, and naturally enough, he wasn't going to stay home when all he had to do was take possession of a little group of mares. So anyway, this particular day they raced through the top end of Beatless Bay, where the sappers had put the
landmines.
What do you call them? The mines, laid the mines on it. We were sure we was going to have fresh meat the next day, and not one went off. And they were hardly galloped across the the field, and the sappers came out from Moresby, and there was great activity for a little while. We thought that was funny. They ran across the line field, and we was expecting to come up any second, and not a thing happened. And what happened was, so we was told, that the salt had corroded the mechanism, and so they had to sow another lot of mines down to take its place, because you would have thought one or two of them had gone off. But,
you told me at Bootless Bay you got these new uniforms issued. You thought, oh, this is Christmas.
Yeah, but they took them back again in a day or two.
Yeah, so it was just for the parade for Blamey.
Yeah.
You got to meet him, did you?
Oh, well, we formed up. He
drove past in his Jeep or something?
He walked up and down the lines, you know.
Did he address you?
Well, yes, he did, yeah. I can't remember what he said, but he did address us. I couldn't remember.
So, did you have tin hats?
Yes.
When you went up to Gona, you had all that stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, what did you carry, a rifle, a machine gun, or what arms did you carry?
Carry a rifle.
It's 303?
Yep.
And was it World War stuff, or did they have new stuff by this time?
Didn't look like new to us. Didn't look new to us, put it that way.
And how did you go keeping them in working order?
Well, you did same as everybody else. You put oil in them and cleaned them after every time you used them, and that was it.
So how'd you go getting oil?
Oh, well, you had to go through. The easiest way was to get your oil from as you found it, sort of thing.
Maybe off a dead Jap.
Mostly Jap oil, I think it was. Yeah. One of the problems was oil.
Yeah.
Because it was the conditions, and that was very harsh on anything like that. That's where the Owen gun came into its own, because it thrived on mud and water. But our main diet was bully beef and biscuits.
Yeah, you look forward to that?
Well, actually, you ask any bloke, they got sick of the stuff, but it was good beef. It was just simply because of the monotony of having, it's like any other thing in your home. If you have it every day, you get sick of it, no matter how much you like it.
On those Northern Beaches campaign, did you actually get enough food?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah, we got enough food.
And what about ammunition and supplies? Were they kept up to you?
Oh, that's at Gona, they seem to keep us fairly well supplied with ammo.
Yeah.
I can't recall complaints about being short of ammo. Maybe we were, but I can't recall a time when we were really short of it.
What about the earlier days down at Bootless Bay? Did you have Did you used to do any drill or
Oh yeah, we were forced marches and things
forced
like that.
marches? How did you handle the mosquitoes and
Same as everybody else, put up with them.
yeah? Did you get sick at all? A lot of people got sick in the early days.
No, I didn't. I don't recall being sick. I had a bout of diarrhea or dysentery. Was pretty quick for a couple of days, and we was where we were. We was a bit isolated, and the doctor only used to come a couple of days. You know, he wouldn't come for a couple of days, and then he'd come in because it's fairly hard to get where we were, or so they said. We didn't seem to have much trouble getting there, but that was what happened.
You never suffered with malaria or any other tropical diseases?
I didn't get malaria until I got home.
Right.
I got malaria when I got home. It was funny. I was going to a dance at Tamworth because I'd got my blue suit, and I had this little sortie to go with. And the nurse came around about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Of course, there's no secrets. Everybody knew everybody else's business. And she said, "You were going to the ball tonight?" And I said, "I am." And she said, "You were?" And I said, "You'll see, I will." She said, "Yeah, we will see." She said, "You'll be here keeping us company." And and anyway, by the time came, I had my first bout of malaria, and I couldn't care who went to the ball or who stayed away. I felt I've seen plenty of other blokes with it, but I felt that damn lousy. I wasn't even interested in going anywhere. Laid on my bed and hoped to go away as quick as it wanted to, as it possibly would.
Did you suffer through later years with it, recurring?
Oh, I had it off and on for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years or something like that. After the first few bouts, it slowly but surely got a little bit worse. And I can't remember now, it's too long ago, but after 2 or 3 years, whatever it was, I either finished with it or it was just a nuisance from time to time. But in the early days, it wasn't so good.
No.
But one of the things that was a big problem up there was scrub typhus.
Scrub typhus, yep.
A lot of them, actually, for a lot of blokes, it was better they died than they saved because you sent you blind or deaf for all the rest of it.
Mm. So there's no cure for it?
Not at that time, and I don't know whether there's. Well, they probably have now, but I haven't heard about it. It was caused, so we was told, for a little tick that used to get on the cunei and to get onto the fuzzy's pigs. And they were carriers. Whether that was true or false, I would never know. But it was a very nasty thing. If you got scrub typhus, I can tell you. We had fellows from the ones that was on the track in our unit.
Right. Do you remember any of those diggers that you went with from the 7th Battalion, went into 39th? Did you actually go into B Company with any of those?
Well, yeah, that's what I say. We made. He was the same as me. He came from the 7th.
What was his name, Eric?
Wally Taylor.
Wally Taylor.
He got killed up there. He got killed the same day as what I did.
Same day as you got your
wound. I got wounded.
Yeah.
There was a collection of us. We were trying to get across the track, and we tried everything in the book to try and get across, but they were picking us off like I don't know what. And I can't remember who was the first one that got killed. And one or two got wounded after that, I think, if I remember. And then Wally got killed, and I got wounded. Yeah. And the fellow after me was Teddy Chandler. He came from Sydney. He was ex-53rd. And the Japs dropped a blast bomb on him. The best thing they ever did as far as we was concerned, because it took all his shirt and everything, and it was all his belly and his chest, and it was like an overripe tomato, this blast grenade. And what was causing the trouble gave the position away, and of course when the position was found out, well, things were different then.
Yeah. Was that the first contact you had with the Japanese when you copped it?
Oh no, I was at we used to Gona from the beginning, from when the battalion first went to Gona. We was in it right from the beginning as getting B Company.
But when you went in, were the Japanese already withdrawn as far as Gona, had they?
Yeah, they were on the beach.
On the beaches, dug in.
Yeah.
Yeah. You told me a story when you went to Gona that you got there and you found the Japanese wearing masks, breathing apparatus.
That was in the later days of Gona. Well, we thought that it was gas, and it wasn't gas at all. But their own dead was the cause of their trouble, and they were wearing the gas mask because of the smell.
The stench from all the human remains.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah. Now, after Gona, you went to
Hattie's Village, Gona West or Embarked River, take your choice. It's all the same place.
It's the same place, yeah.
And we suffered a lot of casualty there, and I was one of them.
Yeah. How long between the time you got to Gona until you were injured?
Oh,
number of days, weeks?
Weeks it'd be about. We got there around about the. I couldn't be for sure of these dates, but it was round about the end of November, early December. And I got knocked just before Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah, 11th of December was the day. 1942, when you were injured. I read it in the book.
But, I thought it was a bit later than that, actually. Because
yeah, can you tell us what actually happened to your arm?
Oh well, I got shot in the arm, and I went back to the doctor. Worked my way back to the doctor, and
like a bullet hole, or was it a machine gun?
It was a bullet of some sort. Different ones have told me what they reckoned it was, but everybody's guess could have been right. Nobody knows, but I was shot in the arm, and all I know is that the doctor took one look at it and he said, "You'll never carry a rifle again."
Mm-hmm.
That's all I know.
Yeah.
Well, it was too late in the day to go back on the track to the nearest CCS, which is at Soputa, and we had to stay the night there. And then the next morning, the Fuzzies took us through the swamps, and it was raining like hades, which as always, and the black water was coming through the blanket that was sewed onto the pumps of the stretcher. They're thinking back and stinking water, and of course it didn't do my arm any good, did it?
No.
And then when I got to Soputa, they put those that weren't too bad. They put in one lot, going back, and it's just very short periods of time, a day or 2 or 3 days or a week, whatever. They were put on one side, and the ones that was considered to be worse was put on the other, and I was put on that. And the doctor came along, Major Ackland, and he said that if I didn't have it off before midnight, I wouldn't be here. And he didn't think he could save any of my arm at all, but he'd save what he could. And all I know is I woke up the next morning and I was minus my arm, so that was that.
Yeah, but he did save a little bit of a stump.
Yeah, 4.5 inches, so they say.
Yeah.
They very nearly didn't give me a prosthesis to go on it because they reckoned it was too short. It was never a success, but I must say it was handy for over the years. It came in handy for lots of things.
Right.
That's just that.
So did you wear that prosthesis through your working life, did you?
Yes,
yeah.
Off and on. Where it was work. See, I couldn't use anything. I could never use anything on it further than the horizontal, horizontal because it used to come disconnected at the...
dislocated.
And even although I could wear it, I used to have to wear it exceptionally tight, otherwise it used to slip out of gear.
Anyway, this operating theatre where you had your arm off, wouldn't have been very hygienic conditions, would it?
Well, it was tent in the scrub, and they put bush poles down for a floor, and the doctors were getting around with the mud easing through nearly up to the top of the Yankee gaiters that they had on, not Yankee boots. And I had my arm off there, and apart from a piece of bone came out the end about 12 months later, I've never had to have any further, ops or anything like that on it.
No.
It gives me a lot of trouble from time to time.
So after the operation, how were you evacuated back to Australia?
Oh, well, we went up the track. Oh, the next morning, had the worst ride of my life. I hope to never have another one like it. I had my arm off at midnight, and I was on the track about 7 o'clock the next morning, and we just got back too late on the little jeep. There was another fellow beside me that they said that he had the most of his stomach that they could take out at that time and still live. And the last I saw him was at Brisbane when they took him off the ship at Brisbane, and he didn't look too good, I can tell you. And we got back too late to Papua Papua
To fly out
to go back that night. We had to go over we were the first plane to go the next day, and then I stayed 1 or 2 days, I'm not too sure of that. And then we got on the Sanananda, which was a hospital ship, and we went round through to Good Enough Island and those places up the China Strait there, and came home, and that was the finish of it for me. But I had when I got on the mainland, I had about six to 8 weeks at Tamworth in the field hospital there. And then they shifted us to what had been a private girls' school at Balcombe Hills, and we stayed there for a few weeks, and then I came back to Heidelberg, and that was it. Yeah.
They obviously said you couldn't serve anymore, so that was your end of your war service.
Yeah, that was.
Did they repatriate you and give you training in any other occupation that they thought you could do?
No, I can't remember. No, I don't think so. They just I had that sulfonylamide for I don't know how long. I suppose that's to stop us from getting the heel up properly or whatever. And
how long did it take before you were able to be discharged from hospital?
Well, I got up to just before Christmas in January, end of December, and I got my final discharge when I finished my sick leave. I think, I'm not sure about this, but I think it was somewhere in October in 43.
Right. Did your brother come home?
Yes, my brother came home. He served with 40 Squadron, I think it was, as a guard. And he served in New Guinea, Darwin, New Guinea, and Trobriand Islands, I think it was.
Right. So after the war, you got married?
Yeah, got married, and we had one daughter, and well, that was more or less it.
Yeah.
And these days I'm on my own because she died about 4 years ago with cancer. Yeah.
Must add at this time that Eric in June will celebrate his 94th birthday, and I must say you're looking fantastic for your age.
But I'm not sure it's 94. It's 94 yet. I'm only 94.
Almost.
Getting pretty close.
Do you remember the day of victory in Pacific? Do you remember the end of the war?
Oh yes.
Where were you then?
Oh, I was up in Baronga.
Baronga, working as what?
Oh, that's across the bridge from Mildura. You got Mildura on the Victorian side and Bromborough. When I was there, it was a working man's suburb. Now a lot of the big money in Mildura's gone over to Bromborough, but when I was there, when we was there, it was the working man's suburb.
What were you doing in those days?
Oh, I worked. Well, went for vegetable picking for a while and worked on the baker's cart for a short while, and then I went out to Irimple and worked in a box making gang, which wasn't a bad job. It was a itinerant type of work, and I didn't want that. What I was looking for a job that I could do, and I felt like I was doing it fairly well, and at the same time, I was hoping it to be permanent. Well, when I got up to high school, I got on. They took me on probation to start with, and I finished up on for 24 years there, so I must have liked it fairly well, mustn't I?
Yeah, good on you. Well, Eric, on behalf of the 39th Battalion Association Historical Subcommittee, we want to thank you for giving up your time tonight and having a chat to us about your time with the 39th. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to you at the march tomorrow. Thanks very much.
Good. Thank you.